who bails you out. It's not the Fed, not the politicians, and that's why I own gold. Gold doesn't need a CEO, doesn't need missed earnings. It doesn't freeze your account on a Friday at 4:59. While they print, gold just sits there doing what it's done for thousands of years. Store value. If you're done playing musical chairs with your savings, get something real in your hand. That's why you should try our good friends Kirk Elliott Precious Metals today. Goldwithjustin.com. Kirk and the team going to walk you through what they're doing, whether you're a seasoned pro when it comes to buying precious metals or you're just getting started. Call Kirk and the team today at 720-605-3900. That's 720-605-3900, or go to goldwithjustin.com to find out how they can help you today. No pressure, just facts and a plan. That's goldwithjustin.com. Protect what's yours with gold. Goldwithjustin.com. Do it today. When the grocery shelves go empty, you're out of time. That's the truth. Disasters hit fast. Storms, blackouts, supply chain chaos, and the first thing to vanish is food. That's why smart Americans, just like you, are stocking up now with My Patriot Supply. You can go to preparewithjustin.com right now to get a 3-month emergency food kit, and they'll even throw in a free 4-week food kit to boot. That's 4 whole months of meals ready to eat. No refrigeration needed, all with a 25-year shelf life. We're talking breakfast, lunches, dinners, over
9 FM. Live from high atop Monroe Center in downtown Grand Rapids, we're talking about what matters most to you in West Michigan. Join the conversation now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on Wood Radio.
What a miraculous weekend it was. First day back for me, and I am blown away. Even the news still coming at now from the weekend. Some of the developments, we'll talk about those miracles. The rescue of the airmen, actually a couple of those folks in that whole operation, the tech that went into it that makes it mind-blowing. And, of course, we got people. I looked up this morning, stared out to the sky, and saw the moon and thought, we got Americans up there.
That news, weather, and traffic. And the biggest stories of the day. We're talking about what matters most in West Michigan and beyond.
Incredible.
This is the Big Three. Now, today's Big Three.
Yeah, the stories that matter most should be talking about this around the world and around the moon, the dinner table, no matter where you are, these are the stories that matter most. And yes, our Big Three, powered by our good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. Dave Galloway and the team, ready to make sure that you're set, whether you want to buy, refi it, a home equity line of credit. They'll take care of you. Heart of the teacher, walk you through it faster, quicker than the big banks. And you ought to reach out today to see how Dave and the team can help you at hhmlending.com.
Number 1.
It is the deadline set by the President. Trump's Iran ultimatum closing in. Tick-tock tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. That deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz or make a deal, face U.S. strikes on power plants and bridges otherwise. Now he's saying, we've heard bomb them into the Stone Age. Now he's saying, get rid of an entire civilization will die. Iran rejecting the latest ceasefire proposal. Whoever's left, anyway, hiding under rubble. I'm not really sure who they're talking to and how it works. We've heard a few of the updates on that. Anyway, the latest on that story and more coming up, including the rescue of that pilot that was miraculous over the weekend. An Easter miracle is what the president's calling. And speaking of miracles, in space, they boldly went where no one's gone before, and one of them from Grand Rapids. Christina Cook recording the farthest humans have ever traveled, breaking that record. The farthest they've traveled from Earth, 4 astronauts in that capsule, reaching more than 252,000 miles during the flyby that took place yesterday, breaking Apollo 13's 56-year-old record. and the president with some words for those astronauts on board that capsule.
Well, thank you very much, Jared, and you are doing a fantastic job. And hello, very special hello to Artemis 2. Today you've made history and made all America really proud, incredibly proud. We have a lot of things to be proud of lately, but this is there's nothing like what you're doing, circling around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century and breaking the all-time record for the farthest distance from planet Earth. Humans have really never seen anything quite like what you're doing.
It is amazing. In fact, we got more from the president. We'll get you some more of that audio as we see yet another massive piece of news that any other time, I think, day and age would just be like the biggest story. But there's just so much happening in the world.
Number 3.
They're real. Speaking of what's happening in the world and out of this world as well, Rep. Tim Burchett, congressman from Tennessee, who I've had the pleasure to meet before. He was fantastic. Interesting story, saying that aliens are real and we're going to meet them someday. I don't know. He is a reasonable guy. He's a real rational guy, but he says, according to what I've seen and what I've heard, you better get ready. That's well, I don't know. Is there anything now? Because look at the massive amount of news that flies each and every day. Is there anything that would make just shock people?
Call Justin now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here's what he said, by the way, and I'll put this as, I think he did an interview with TMZ, which again, you said TMZ, what? No, they still haven't found Nancy Guthrie, but they apparently found life on other planets.
What I want to make sure I'm understanding is a member of our government has told you and others, I guess, that there is a form of alien life and machinery which maybe brought this living creature here that interacted in some form with people.
Harvey Levin having a real hard time walking through that, and I can understand why.
Yeah, they have, and they've. It's pretty wild. I know, but I'm just telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd take a lie to tell you. You want to put me on a polygraph, I'll take it. But this is what the guy told me. I mean, I've had a very high-ranking naval official describe. I've talked about this before. Underwater craft, something big as a football field, moving at over 200 miles an hour. And there's no fish in the ocean that would do that. We don't even have a sub that'll probably do 40 miles an hour under the. And the last thing he said before he left my office was, it was kind of weird because he didn't go out he went out the side door, which nobody ever uses. And he looked at me, he pulled me up close, and he said, "Tim, they're real." And that's the last thing he said to me. That'll be the title of my book, I guess.
Tim, they're real. Oh, well. Well, this will be a conversation, I'm sure, enough for our good friend Trent Kennedy to see what his reaction. Probably going to be similar to mine. But again, here we are, and this is just the time that we're in. I want you to just sort of take it all in here. We've got this massive mission that happens over the weekend to save a man who, I'm blown away at what I'm seeing, not just with this story and how incredible it was, but of course also the story that came out. And I guess this would have been, is it Saturday? I'm getting my days mixed up because I took the day off yesterday, but I just, this story about what happened when they saved this airman and how that all played out. Some of the behind the scenes that we're learning about the CIA's involvement and how they were able to sort of, use this this sort of cloak and dagger deception to tell people, hey, or the Iranians, hey, we're over here, we're doing this, and meanwhile they were really doing something else. That in itself, and how incredible it is to see a president who says, we're not going to leave any man behind. I mean, that's a stark contrast to what we've seen policy before. And by the way, these individuals, these brave men and women will fight even harder, more fierce, more loyal to him, particularly than ever before, because of that. Because they know that when they go out there and they put it all on the line, that he's got their backs. And if you look at what we see happening online right now, it's incredible. I watched sort of the anti-American sentiment. And you're going to make no mistake. There's a reason why all of this is playing out right now. But we've got astronauts up there. I looked up this morning when I got up. I saw the moon, and I thought there are Americans up there right now. And it doesn't even register. So again, this news about the aliens, I don't know. I don't know what will register. And we're at a time. We're at a point in time. Don't even get me into like what we're seeing some of the people with their podcast and their shows and streamers, et cetera, saying and doing, and the positions they're taking. Just mind-boggling, some of it. Some people you thought before were just, those are solid folks. And then you see like how far they've come. I don't know. I don't know if it's some of this, the brain being broken because we've been through so much, or some of the influence maybe happening because of the algorithm or things that they're hearing, or maybe they're just bought and paid for. I don't know, and I can't pretend to know. But what I will say to you is it's hard to imagine a time where we've been more divided, at least from the algorithm in some ways. And that's social media. Everybody in their own echo chamber. But there's also been a time where we've had an opportunity to look. I don't think there's been a time when we've had an opportunity to look and say, I'm more proud of some of the things that are happening. There is no greater country on the face of this planet than the United States of America. And yet, here we are. Here we are where people seem to be not just questioning, but downright sort of belittle. If you wanted to disagree with president or policy or any of those things, you certainly would do that. You could do that. That's not I don't have a problem with that. But the way we see in some of the things that we're seeing, like I said, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I've seen people question the president's faith and all of this, and the tweet over the weekend, or the Truth Social post over the weekend. To me, I don't want to belabor this, but people get so bent out of shape on this stuff, and I understand. Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? The Easter truth, and boy, the left and some of these folks just ran with it. One former Fox News host just lost his ever-loving mind over it. All obvious than it is. But let me do that if we can. Take it just a quick moment. We'll get into our tech talk coming up in just a little bit as well. And we'll give you a chance to join in the program at any time. That talkback feature is on the iHeartRadio app. Just click the microphone button, sound off, let it rip. And then you can jump on at 616-774-2424 or Justin at justinbarclay.com. Love to hear from you on the email. That's it. In the meantime, you know, there are a lot of Wolverine fans this morning say, why are you talking about the biggest story of the day?
Layup doesn't go. Ball knocked around. Flung down the floor. Caravan trying to track it down, and he will. And it's over. Hail to the champions. Hail to Michigan.
Wow.
For the first time in 37 years, the Wolverines win the national title.
Yes. Back with every minute of it after this. Hang on.
Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Tuesday, April 7th. I'm Robin Kaufman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story. Former Attorney General Mike Cox, a Republican candidate for governor, slamming Governor Whitmer's War on the Line 5 pipeline, saying she doesn't give a blank about the people of northern Michigan. In other news, Consumers Energy is already asking for another rate hike a week after Gretchen Whitmer's Michigan Public Service Commission approves a $276 million increase. And President Trump holding a news conference at the White House talking about the spectacular rescue of the two pilots of that fighter jet shot down in Iran.
We could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to 1 or 2. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it.
For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
This is a Money Minute with Laurel Stewart.
All right, folks, welcome back. Well rested and ready for fun. I'll say good morning to the folks on Locals today. We see Panda, Mando, good to see you. Cook Garden, so thank you so much for being here with you. Thank you, Gritter. Good to see you. Let's see. Hemi, good to see you. Patriot Dean, Michigan Joe, Dina. There was a little dropout, guys. Sorry. It looks like the internet here, I don't know if it reset or did something, but it was the full station, the full everything here. So it wasn't just you guys. It was everything. 1769 Gary Mando, good to see you over on Rumble. TK, good to see you. Sheila, thank you so much, Rumblers. Good to see you. L. Waldron, BK, very good. PJ, thank you, folks. And make sure you click share today. Help us break the algorithm. Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Getter, Locals, YouTube. Yeah, we're on YouTube today as well, so that'll help. That'll help get the word out. But make sure you click share so we can let more people in on what's going on today and the stories they just won't get anywhere else. John, good to see you over on the tube. Lori, good to see you. Bruce, Brian, Jason, Bunny, Mark, Jessica, Doug. Did I say Bonnie yet? Well, Charlene, good to see you too. Good to see you guys. We are full speed ahead. If you haven't done it yet, you can click share
And when you do, this will help break the algorithm. But particularly in the this is very helpful over on Facebook because some days they push us out, some days they don't like us. You know how it is. But at the end of the show, we are going to pick one person. And like I said, I don't know who this is going to be yet, but it could be because somebody asked earlier, wait a minute. Who's this going to be? And I was like, oh, well, we don't know yet. It could be Facebook. I think on Friday anyway. We'll pick one person and you will win something from inside the store. So go shopping. You're certainly allowed to go buy something if you want to help support the show. We got tees, we got mugs, we got sweatshirts, hoodies. But I'd love to just give you something if you can help us break the algorithm and share today. Much, much appreciated. JustinBarclay.com/store is the website if you want to go check that out in the meantime. Appreciate you. Thank you. We're going to be back on the air here in just a moment, folks. Stand by. Here we go. God is good. The words from the airman that was rescued this weekend of the Easter rescue. Am I right? Was he shot down on Friday and then found on Easter? That's incredible and sort of prophetic in itself in some ways, isn't it? And like I said, another one of these big stories that you're just normally, I think you'd be people would be a lot more excited about. They'd be a lot more. But the thing is that you're drinking from a fire hose, and every day in one story after the other, and people don't have enough time and on the bandwidth and on the space in their heads to think about it. And why does that matter? Because you've got stories like this. Ultimately, I do think it's great for us to be patriotic, excited about what we're doing, fired up about our mission, to the moon and what we're doing in Iran. I think those things. Well, look, I'm not saying you have to be fired up about what's happening in Iran. I'm just saying I think it's obvious that we're just not as patriotic as a nation as we used to be. And that's been generally because over and over and over and over again, we have seen through the years that we have just been on the other end of this massive propaganda led by the enemy. So, even when the astronauts are up in space, you can't be excited about that. You can't be happy about that. You can't, because you're told you can't trust your government, and I get it. They've done a lot of things to make us feel that way. So I'm one who would, ask just as many questions either way anyway too. So that's, I understand that. But my point is we don't have enough time to really spend on the issues that matter. And here's another one. This hits much closer to home. In fact, right in your own pocketbook. Consumers Energy already asking for yet another rate hike. The Midwesterner has this story yet a week after Gretchen Whitmer's, basically her royal board, the Wolverine Queen's royal board, approved this MPSC $276.6 million increase. So after they already did this massive increase, they are going back in for yet another increase. And again, all of this matters at the end of the day. Why do I bring it up? Because you don't have enough time. You don't have bandwidth. And we don't even, certainly on this program, to even get to it, to talk about all of these stories and in depth like we'd like to. It is just a sign of the times, folks. The latest tweet that's got everybody riled up, we'll talk about that. No, it's not the one over the weekend. Actually, it's a Truth Social post from the president. It's one that came out this morning. We'll shed some light on that after we stop down for bottom of the hour news. And Tech Talk rolls in next with our good friend Trent Kennedy right here from Affordable Eye Store, Lake Michigan Drive in Standale and Grand River Tech. So hang in there for that, folks. That's coming up right here on West Michigan Live. What a fantastic Easter weekend it was. We had a great time at church with the kids, spending some family time, a little bit of extra time together. And it was exactly how you'd like it. By the way, whether you're celebrating and you're hunting for those Easter eggs that the kids are running around hiding those things, they're just keeping up like me with all the news of the day. We've got to make sure we're on top of it, right? And yeah, whether it's work or play, for me, I'm on my toes with those news stories all the time and keeping up with it all. The folks at the Good Feet store help me do it, and they've got the personalized arch support system that's going to get you back into the game, right? Feeling confident and comfortable no matter where you are or what you're doing. And as the weather changes, in the shoes that you want to wear everywhere. So from the dress shoes to your flip-flops, sandals, slides, wherever you are at the beach, their system works everywhere. You'll find out more when you walk into the Good Feet store today. Walk in 28th Street right in front of Costco, or in Portage on Westage in front of Kohl's.
Where the truth isn't negotiable. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Access to affordable credit helps me pay my employees, but I don't really need it.
Inflation is killing me. But who cares? Big retailers are making record profits. That's why we support.
All right. Let's prepare for I've got to send, if he's listening or watching, Trent, I've got to send you a new link because we had to switch some things around today. So stand by for that. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. If you're just tuning in, you're like, what am I watching? This is the behind-the-scenes live stream. We do a radio show from 9 to 10 weekday mornings right here on Wood Radio in Grand Rapids, Michigan, called West Michigan Live. And that's what you're listening to right now. That's what you're hearing. Plus, you get all the back sort of behind the backstage, behind the scenes look at what we do here as we get ready for the show. Like we got Trent popping in right now. We're going to bring him up and test his video and audio, make sure he looks good and sounds good. Let's do that real quick. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, Justin. Doing great.
Fantastic. I'm glad you made it in. We had to do a little bit of switcheroo here, but we are full speed ahead. Lots to talk about today. So I don't know if you saw it. I put it at the top of the hour. I didn't include it in the thing we did earlier, but we're going to talk about aliens too. So there's a congressman who says he's seen the reports that say, particularly when it talking about aliens and alien technology, he's talking about some of the spacecraft, and you probably heard the stories before, or let's call it just craft that's underwater that he claims, tells TMZ that they're here, the aliens are real, and again, whether they are or not, that's a whole nother interesting story. But I think the tech that they're talking about and confirming is the big story, because, here's the thing. Maybe it's not alien technology. Maybe it's some technology we have, or maybe it's some technology someone else has. We don't know. I'd lean towards us having it, and this being the cover story to sort of freak out the enemy. But I don't know. And nobody really does, I think, at this point, and very few do. But we'll get into all that coming up here in just a second, and you'll be able to have fun and let us land that plane coming up here, or whatever that craft might be, in a minute. Also, Trent, we're going to talk the tech that enabled that overnight rescue, that Eastern miracle of the downed U.S. airmen in Iran. AI singers are occupying the top of the charts right now on iTunes, and more, so much more. So stand by, folks. Get ready for the latest. Trent, appreciate you, my friend. All right, here we go, folks. Back on the air. And about 2 minutes, if that. 2 minutes, if that. Here's more from the moon, which we should probably also include, right, in the conversation with Trent.
In a manned spacecraft, it's really special. I want to personally salute and congratulate Commander Reed Weissman, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. And I also want to thank the entire amazing team at NASA, headed by Jared, who's a very special guy, by the way. And you all made this day possible, and you've really inspired the entire world. Really, everybody's watching. They find it incredible. I just watched you go to the back of the moon, and people haven't been there in a long time, we can say, but it's going to be more and more prevalent because we're going to be doing a lot of
just to say, Mr. President, they've never been there. That's why this was so cool.
traveling, and then you're going to ultimately do the whole big trip to Mars, and that's going to be very exciting. So you look at, we had no astronaut has been to the moon since the days of Apollo program. The Apollo program was also very special, but that was 50 years ago, and at long last, America is back, and America is back in many ways stronger than ever before. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world. The Artemis crew flew in the most powerful rocket NASA has ever made, ever launched, traveled over 250,000 miles, broke the distance record set by the legendary Apollo 13. And America is a frontier nation, and the 4 brave astronauts of Artemis 2 are a modern day, you really are modern day pioneers, all of you. And one of
Anyway, back on the air here in just a moment. Stand by. About 15 seconds left. We'll get into that conversation and some of the tech talk as well here. Just a moment. Stand by, folks.
Voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck, and you're listening to West Michigan Live with our good friend Justin Barclay. The Glenn Beck program coming up at 10 on Wood Radio.
frontier nation, and the 4 brave astronauts of Artemis 2 are a modern day, you really are modern day pioneers, all of you. And one of them happens to be a neighbor. You know who that is, right? You have a special person over there, a neighbor, and we like our neighbor. You're
talking about the Canadian fact. There was a little bit of diplomacy as you see the American flag, the Canadian flag, and then there's a flag for America 250. Astronauts floating in space. They just got back from the other side of the moon at that moment, which I thought was really incredible to see. Again, another big feat, another big story that I think any other time would have just been this massive story. Maybe all we're talking about, but nothing really seems to move the needle anymore. Just kind of wild to watch that. I'm just kind of floored by it. History being made. By the way, this is Christina Cook. She's from Grand Rapids, and this was a unifying message. Again, one that I think you would see the kids would be watching this in school. They would be playing this on the screens for the kid. I doubt they even hear about it. I don't know.
So great to hear from Earth again. To Asia, Africa, and Oceania, we are looking back at you. We hear you can look up and see the moon right now. We see you too. When we burned this burn towards the moon, I said that we do not leave Earth, but we choose it. And that is true. We will explore, we will build ships, we will visit again. We will construct science outposts, we will drive rovers, we will do radio astronomy, we will found companies, we will bolster industry, we will inspire. But ultimately, we will always choose Earth. we will always choose each other.
Wow.
And it is so
What a great message from astronaut Christina Cook again, Grand Rapids' very own. A unifying message. Let's talk about the tech involved to make it all happen, in fact, as well. Our good friend Trent Kennedy joining us.
Hack into the latest in tech and how it affects you and your world. This is Tech Talk Tuesday on Wood Radio's West Michigan Live.
Trent, thank you for joining us. And wow, what a wild moment. We got some big tech stories here. First, the tech to take us around the moon and back. The astronauts headed back right now in this 10-day mission. All this fun tech stories about what we did to get us there. And then what I think is even more interesting after it's all said and done with, which is the plunger story. Oh, at least I think it's a plunger. I just kind of chuckle at that because NASA had an issue with the toilets, and of course, Christina was the one who had to come in and fix that. Now, I don't know if like any plumbing companies here in Grand Rapids have reached out, but she would be a great endorser for the one of those plumbing companies when she gets back to Earth. Welcome in, my friend.
Good morning, Justin. Yeah, interesting what you're talking about there, but they had toilet issues, frozen line, and it's cold morning here, Justin. So I'm sure people this winter had some frozen line issues. They also know with all the high technology, right? You think of the AI, the computer systems, everything that made this mission possible. This mission has been 10 or 20 years. I think it's somewhere around 20 years in the process, the Artemis program. But one of the other issues they had that's very interesting is a personal computer failure. So one of the astronauts, his personal computer, each astronaut has a personal device for, communicating with family and doing other things. Maybe he's got to submit his hours for payroll. I don't know how that works. But anyways, hope he's getting overtime pay and, all that good stuff. But his computer died. And he was working with NASA remotely to fix it. So if they need any help with that, we could maybe lend him a hand over here.
Hey, all the tech we've seen in recent days has played an interesting role, not just with the Artemis mission, with what we saw over the weekend as well, with now what they're calling an Easter miracle and this rescue of this airman who was, missing for like 3 days. But apparently tech played a big role in finding him. I know they train. I've got a good friend who is a Marine. He's going to be on with Glenn today, coming up at 10. Former fighter pilot and Top Gun instructor, and talked a little bit about, in fact, he was on Fox News yesterday on Will Kane Show, talked a little bit about that program that they all go through when they're training to figure out, okay, what do you do if you're shot down? What do you do when you're hiding behind enemy lines? How do you survive, and what goes into every moment as you're there? But the tech that enabled them not only to be able to locate this individual, but also go in and then save him. Pretty incredible stuff.
Hey, Justin, one of the things, this story is going to be talked about for many years, probably 100 years, Justin, because it combines the aerial surveillance, the signals, all of the intelligence that they had of where this guy was, what the enemy's doing, and how to find them. And they took all that real-time data, massive amounts of data through satellite, through aerial surveillance, through assets on the ground. They combined that with good old-fashioned commandos going out there, probably scaling the mountain. We don't know all exactly what happened. And so really, Justin, the key takeaway from this story is, yes, we can have all the highest tech in the world. We still needed old-fashioned, strong, physical people to go in there and actually get this guy, load him up, and get him out. And so for all of the people that are caught up with AI and future technology taking our jobs and everything else, just keep that in mind. The future of a business, of our jobs, of our world is a very mixed combination of high-end human skills, old-fashioned, boots on the ground, hands-on physical tasks, combined with cutting-edge technology. You're never going to have full AI, autonomous, whatever, be able to replace good old-fashioned soldiers on the ground en masse. That's just not going to happen anytime soon, Justin, maybe ever.
I'll just add the caveat, as you just said, anytime soon, because I will tell you, like I took a test. I don't want to talk about all this because
I've been quietly. I told folks on the after show and kind of the behind the scenes live stream, but I haven't talked about this on the air. But I don't think anyway. I have been slowly but surely getting radicalized on social media to want a Tesla, mostly because of the full self driving features that they have. So I did test drive on Friday, and I actually did another one Monday, looking at different models of these cars. I won't go into depth, but I'll just tell you that the full self driving was so good. And Trent, I know you're gonna laugh because that's exactly where I was like I don't know, like a year ago. But it was so good that it kind of blew me away, and I came to the conclusion that this is inevitable. At some point, we're going to get to the point where nobody's going to drive anymore, and they're already giving you insurance rate cuts, like if you use the full self driving, if you have Tesla insurance, and I think it'll get to the point where, hey, they'll cut you a nice discount on your insurance, but if you want to drive on your own, you're going to have to pay more, because that's just how safe this full self-driving is, and the stats are pretty incredible. I've seen wild videos recently where they've been avoiding crashes, like even in smoked, blacked out situations. These cars are avoiding crashes and saving lives. So to say I don't think we'll ever see this, I can't go that far, but man, oh man, it's just surprising how fast things are moving.
Yeah, Justin, what you're talking about, the technology there. So what that also does usher in is a little bit different topic, is it ushers in a new pay to play or a rental type car agreement, where whenever you need a car, it actually uses AI to figure out your schedule, and it organizes a schedule so that Tesla shows up in your driveway so that you can drive it, autopilot, whatever you want to work. And so you don't even own the car anymore. Yes, Justin, that model is here. It's going to come in mass, and that's going to completely change cars because it's going to make them much more affordable. Though the scary part of that is that, like we saw in another story last week in China, they had a mass issue with their robo-taxi cars. They literally just stopped everywhere, wherever they were, and pretty much shut the grid down.
Yeah.
And they don't even have that many yet.
That's the other side of this. So I laugh because I think, okay, we're here. But yeah, there are other issues that can come of it too. Hey, look at this. This is a video. I didn't expect to do this, but why not? This is a video of a car driving down a highway. This is Tesla. And a man, you can see, I'll put a slow motion here so folks can see it. A man steps out into the highway and he wants to get hit. That thing moved. Saved that man's life, and maybe even the person who was driving the car, because that could have killed both of these individuals, and who knows. But here he is, sped up. If you're not seeing this right now because you're listening to the radio, we'll put it up on the stack a little bit later on today. But that's incredible. Your reaction to that video, Trent, I mean, it's just wild. Seeing stuff like that is pretty incredible.
Yeah, Justin, that's where technology has come a long ways, and we're going to continue to see that improve, Justin. If they have this perfected, dialed in to 80%, avoiding that specific incident, they're going to get that up to 95% within 6 months to a year, because things are advancing so quickly.
All right, I got to show this video. And again, I know this for the radio. This is not going to help you, but I'll describe it, and then you can see this on the stack as I put it up. This is a Tesla driving down a highway. I believe this is in Europe, and there's smoke you can see up ahead with some lights, and their brake lights from a car who looks like may have had a collision with another car in front. This is all happening very quickly. Watch what happens. The Tesla starts to, wow, that's incredible. It avoids a truck that's overturned on the road. And then there's like another car, a little SUV in front of it that's come to a stop, and it is able to evade that car as well, back up, and then get out, and then reposition and get out of the way, which is absolutely nuts for folks that are watching this on a behind-the-scenes live stream. This is incredible video that just shows you what's possible. So again, they got cameras all over this car. They've got an AI that works. And again, more and more people drive, the more data they're going to collect, the more opportunity they're going to have for these scenarios to present themselves. And then these machines are going to prove themselves over and over again. again, I'm just saying it's like I'm not gonna maybe buy a car tomorrow, but like I was blown away at what I saw.
Yeah, Justin, I think you might be driving around on a Tesla tomorrow. The sensors on those, Justin. So they use cameras, and I don't know if Tesla went back to lidar sensors or not. But you got to remember, there's many radars called lidar that these things can have. They can see right through smoke, rain, snow, because it's like radar. It burns right through that stuff. It doesn't have to have a visual image. So if
Yeah.
it can have those technologies, like our phones, most of the phones have that technology as well for picture taking. It can navigate those things much quicker, much safer than we can. That's amazing. Good use of technology.
All right. So again, technology, AI may not always be the greatest thing. Maybe saving lives in one hand. On the other hand, you're going to say to yourself, why would we ever use it for this? But people are. iTunes takeover right now. A fake AI singer, and iTunes is, I guess, the still the music version of what Apple has. A singer named Eddie Dalton now occupies 11 spots on a singles chart, number 3 on albums chart. And I've never heard this music, so I have no idea what it sounds like. But that's the story from Showbiz 411. Have you ever heard of this guy, Trent? And would you listen to AI music?
Yeah, Justin, no, I have not heard of this guy. I don't listen to secular music. But the point of the story, though, that the interesting point of the story is that this guy has taken music.
Wait a minute. I gotta correct you because I made the mistake. It's not a guy. It's AI.
It's lady computer.
Yeah.
But Justin, that's the point of the story.
Right.
There's still a person behind this. There's a guy or a gal that's sitting somewhere working the computer configurator to make this.
Okay.
It's not fully autonomously created. Somebody had to put the prompts in, fine tune it, tweak that. They obviously have musical talent because AI can't do this all itself. Yeah, but that's the point. Somebody who doesn't have a musical ear per se, doesn't have maybe a voice talent per se, can make music with the assistance of AI. Even if they are tone deaf, they can actually use a visual demonstrator of what the tones sound like. So it's a new world. It's what I would say, Justin, is this is still human creation because number one, somebody had to make the AI in the first place. And number two, somebody is still working with the AI to make this and to perfect this. So it's not totally computers taking over music.
Here's the flip side of it. Wall Street Journal with a report, brands adopting a no AI disclaimer and policy to stand out amid all the AI. Matter of fact, our radio station, the company that owns it, iHeart, says, we're powered by all human. And I say for now because you never know what'll happen. But it's a good point. Last I checked, Trent and both myself included, both 100% human. And here with you now, Trent, always a pleasure, my friend, to check in with the latest stories in tech and more. We'll put these up on the stack at justinbarclay.com. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Justin. Have a great day.
As always, you do the same. Affordable iStore, Lake Michigan Drive in Standell and Grand River Tech. You got issues, questions with your personal devices or maybe your church, organization, your company, your business. You want to help making sure everything's safe and secure, and that they'll help you there as well. All right, back with more Check in the Midwestern. First, we're back after this on West Michigan Live. It's Justin Barclay. Markets open, stocks falling, and the ceasefire hopes are falling ahead, fading, they say, of Trump's Iran deal. But I'll tell you again, we've been watching the markets go up and down. And it's hard to know where things are really going. I will tell you this. If it feels like a roller coaster ride, you're not alone. Lots of people are on that ride as we speak right now. If you're retired or maybe you're thinking about it, down the road, doesn't matter whether it's now or 10 or 20 years down the road, you want to do this, make sure you take a holistic approach. GuardingYourNestEgg.com. Mike Lester and the team at Talon Wealth will make sure that you get to where you want to go and when you want to get there. When you call 616-661-1000, talk with the folks there, or go online to guardingyournestegg.com, but do it today.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Tuesday, April 7th. I'm Robin Kaufman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story. Incredibly, they want more of your money. Consumers Energy already asking for another rate hike just a week after Governor Whitmer's Michigan Public Service Commission approves a $276 million increase. Former Attorney General Mike Cox, a Republican candidate for governor, slamming Governor Whitmer's war on the Line 5 pipeline. He says she doesn't give a blank about the people of northern Michigan. And President Trump talking about the truly incredible rescue of the second pilot of that fighter jet shot down in Iran and how the U.S. military got him out.
He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location.
For these stories and more, visit The Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Motown legend.
All right. I don't know about you, but I am not a fan of AI music. That to me just sounds absolutely nutty. Would I allow it to help me or do some things? Yeah, I probably would be okay with that. Driving a car for now. I don't know. I'm telling you, once you do this, you're going to be blown away. I don't know if I will pull the trigger on the Tesla or not. I haven't gotten to that point. I do think it's very, very interesting. I will tell you this. I had a different experience yesterday driving two different models. And it wasn't as good as the first experience. So I'll just leave you at that. I mean, I was driving down the highway, or it was driving me down the highway, and it was a little herky-jerky to the point where I got a little bit of like motion car sickness, and I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. And I told the guy about it when I got back. He's like, yeah, every now and then it's trying to read the highway lines, and it's just, it can't quite figure it out. So I'm not going to play this AI music because I really don't care. I'll be honest with you. I'll put links up to it, and then I think we'll get dinged for a copyright, and I don't want to have to deal with that, especially on something like this. Anyway. Back quickly at the end of the show, tail end of the show here. We got an after show we got to make sure that we get to. The show after the show, and we'll do just that coming up here in just moments. Stand by, folks. Here we go.
By the Electronic Payments Coalition. Get daily reminders to help you stay on track with your financial goals. Join your money mentors from Matson Financial Services for retirement lessons during your lunch hour from noon to 1 p.m. on Wood Radio, or connect now at matsonfinancial.com.
Set Wood Radio is a preset now on our iHeartRadio app. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit autolaw.com.
That's autolaw.com.
Alrighty then, before we go, the fastest hour in radio, well, nearly done. This message, which I found to be quite uplifting, from one of the astronauts before they went around the dark side of the moon.
Remind you of one of the most important mysteries there on earth, and that's love. Christ said in response to what was the greatest command, that it was to love God with all that you are. And he also, being a great teacher, said the second is equal to it, and that is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so, as we prepare to go out of radio communication, we're still to feel your love from Earth, and to all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you from the moon.
Wow, what a very cool moment from Artemis flying around the moon. The after show of the show after the show, flying on next. Of course, you can join us. Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Getter Locals, YouTube, live and archive, the iHeartRadio app. In the meantime, the Glenn Beck program is next. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Make it a great one. I'm Justin Barkley.
God bless.
Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. God is the kingdom, and our glory forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
WOOT Grand Rapids, WOOT FM Muskegon. The news is next on Wood Radio.
An iHeart radio station.
Guaranteed human.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use.
Alrighty then, folks. Back after it. Stand by. What was that one? What was that? I'm going to click a few buttons. We'll get the after show started. Thank you for being here with us today. If you haven't already shared, please do so. Help get us the algorithm get broken and get us out to more folks so they can hear all of the news, the stories they won't hear anywhere else. Stand by. Here we go.
Get ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barclay.
It's time for the after show, the show after the show. That's why we call it the after show. Never enough time to get to them all, folks, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you, and that's all that matters. The New York Post covers this straight shooter today of President Trump. That big warning. We're just hours away now from the latest deadline ending. And by the way, we've got something new. We've got a new statement from the president. A new warning to Iran. I mentioned it kind of earlier today. I didn't go through the whole thing, but I do want to share with you so you can see what they're saying, what he's saying essentially to the rest of the world and to Iran specifically. What is that warning? Stand by for the latest. Plus, we want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. If you help click share on the show today, you'll be able to help us break the algorithm, get the word out, no matter whether you're watching or listening to this live or archived, no matter where you are. Thank you for helping us do so. It helps us get the word out and spread like a virus. We want to be super spreaders here today. And if you do, by the way, we're going to give you something cool. We'll pick somebody from our list of folks who help us super spread this viral truth, logic, and common sense dose to folks who need it. Now more than ever, probably. Not far right so far. The T-shirts online, Gulf of America, Alligator, Alcatraz, fool around and find out. The mugs, cups, T-shirts, hoodies, and more. We've got them all right now. Plus the America 250 is coming soon. Over at justinbarclay.com/store. So if you haven't already done it, you can go do some shopping if you like over there. Somebody bought a mug the other day. I thought that was kind of cool. It's good to see those things fly out the door. And of course, they're conversation pieces. So always really cool to be able to do that. And we'd love for you to be able to see that. Anyway, I would love to just give you one of these. So anybody that's click share and helped us get the word out, we'll pick somebody before the show's up today. And that is that. Here's the latest from the president. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? All caps, question mark. We will find out tonight one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. A lot of people upset about this today. Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeting about it. He's already told them you've got a deadline until 8 p.m. tonight. Made it a little bit longer than it was previously, but 8 p.m. tonight is it, or I'm going to blow up the whole country. What's wild to me is at the same time, we're getting pictures, video, things back. I don't know whether this one's real or AI or not. It looks kind of AI to me, but the White House posted this. It's Moonset. Or Earthset, I guess. From the moon. That's wild. Again, we're in that day and age in that time where you don't know it's real, you don't know it's fake, and you have no clue what's what. And I think that's part of what plays into some of the things that we're dealing with on a daily basis. This is a photo from NASA. First photo from the far side of the moon, captured from Orion as Earth dips beyond the lunar horizon. Wow. That is incredible. First mission since 1972. And as you're watching, you have to wonder, because this is wild. At the same time, we're seeing we're absolutely in touch with Iran. Senior officials from the White House tell Fox News, absolutely the talks have been positive. If we get lucky, we'll have something by the end of the day. Now, this is interesting because the language has been super, super strong. And I understand why. Some of you probably don't know. And some of you probably do. But not everybody is happy. Not everybody is happy about what we're watching play out. The president over the weekend posted on Truth Social, and this was, like I said, this was is this Sunday? Now, this was not the Easter message because they're going to they're trying to say that. This is not the Easter message. Lots of people I've seen, and they know what they're doing. This was a message posted on Easter. But this is not the full-on Easter message, but it was a message where he called folks at some point in Iran crazy bastards. Now, again, I know this is going to, some of you are not going to be excited about, like me. I just think I'm reading this and I go, yeah, well, I don't know if I would have said that. Certainly probably wouldn't have said that. But at the same time, I got to tell you, I understand what he's trying to accomplish. So this is my take on this. I read it. I saw it. I knew exactly what the issue was. And people have lost their ever-loving minds on it. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day. Bridge Day. All wrapped in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. 3 exclamation points. Open the blinking straight. You crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Dash, just watch, all caps, exclamation point. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. Now, again, I'll just tell you, and I don't know. I heard Glenn talk about this yesterday, and he said there's a couple of different ways you could take this. One of them is the president's gone crazy. And that is what the Democrats, that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene, like that whole crowd is saying right now, which is wild to watch. But they're actually saying that you need to invoke the 25th Amendment right now. This argument about war crimes, good question, Teresa. Taking out power plants is a war crime, is it not? What the Iranians do to their own people on a daily basis is a war crime. So I don't know that the conversation or the topic of war crimes is something that at this point is really going to matter at all. I understand it's a talking point. It's a piece. Russia, China, they're every day committing war crimes, particularly Russia, in Ukraine. Use the F word on Easter Sunday. I wish he would have thought, well, you know what else he did? And this is the other thing. I mean, I get some of this, but you know what else he did? He did an actual Easter Sunday message that was unlike any other I've seen before. There has never been another president. Never. And I don't even know if you'll be able to find it because this message will be like the top of the search probably for anybody else. But he did it from the Oval Office. And you know what he actually said? I've never heard another president say this before. And let's see if we can fact check this, get the truth on it. But he actually gave the gospel. In fact, he said John 3:16.
This Holy Week, I'm proud to join with Christians across the country and around the world to celebrate the most glorious miracle in all of time, the resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In his life, Christ displayed true humility. In his death, he modeled true love. And in his resurrection from the tomb, he proved that even death itself will not silence those who place their trust in Almighty God. As it says in Gospel of John, for God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, for whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life.
Now, that has never been uttered, as far as I know, by any other president, especially in an Easter message. So while some, Tucker Carlson, some of the podcasters who are like on the edge, I don't know what's going on with these guys, but some are all up in arms about one truth message that he sent out. They completely missed this one. Why is that important? It's important, and not because I like, I like Tucker. I like these guys. I don't know Candace enough, so I can't say, right? But these people have just gone so far. In fact, Candace, there's one issue, I'll have to share that in here in a second. But there's one that I think she's going completely off the rails. But Tucker's slamming President Trump because he mocks Islam in this one post that I shared with you earlier. Essentially, praise be to Allah. And I don't know that he could be mocking, he could be trolling, he could be just trying to speak the language to let them know from this psychological standpoint, because you realize he's well aware of what he's doing. While there are people out there calling for the 25th Amendment and to get rid of Trump and all of these other things. I mean, the guy is clearly not crazy. You had a guy who didn't even know his own name at one point, couldn't even walk down the street, Joe Biden. 25th Amendment? They never brought this up. It's only Trump when they bring stuff like this up. And I'll tell you why I think that is. I think it's a power struggle. I think they're trying to figure out a way. These people who voted for Trump, but they don't love everything. They just saw him sort of as a vehicle to get some of the things done that they wanted to get done. I think a lot of this would be like a libertarian and maybe former Democrat mindset. But here's what Tucker had to say.
The message in our Bible, which is you are not God. And only if you think you are do you talk this way.
Wait a minute. Roll that back. Is that Tucker's Bible? Is that like real, or look kind of like a decoration?
I don't know. Point is, he doesn't know. Take a listen to Tucker.
The message in our Bible, which is you are not God. And only if you think you are do you talk this way. But it's not just mockery of Islam. And no president should mock Islam. That's not your job. This is not a theocracy. We don't go to war with other theocracies to find out which theocracy is more effective.
What is the point of any of this? Why are they so? And I mean, I think it's worth asking now. I actually think it's fair. Why are they so? At least it seems like they're so dead set on defending Islam and Iran. What is happening? I don't know who made this, but this is hilarious.
But it's not just mockery of Islam. And no president should mock Islam. That's not your job. This is not a theocracy. We don't go to war with other theocracies to find out which theocracy is more effective. But
oh, no. Oh. That wrecked me. I'm sorry. The whole show might be off the rails now at this point. I don't know what to tell you. Holy mackerel. I'm sorry, but you just, it's hard to, it's just hard when you see this stuff. It's like, what is going on? What happened to Tucker? I don't know. Let me see if I can find Marjorie Taylor Greene's post. I think she's calling for, yeah, here it is. 25th Amendment. Yeah. She wants Trump gone. 25th Amendment. Not a single bomb is dropped on America. We cannot kill an entire civilization. This is evil and madness. Okay, so again, you have to wonder why people are saying what they're saying, why they're doing what they're doing. And I don't have that answer for all of them. It could be a mix of a number of things. They could really, truly believe these things. They could really be radicalized, fired up, and actually believe these things. It's just been so traumatized by the past that, and understandably so, there's so many things that have happened over the years that led us to this. But to call for the removal of the president of the United States, that just seems to be completely just disconnected from reality. It's just ridiculous. You can disagree with the guy, but to say he's not mentally, because that's what the 25th Amendment means. He's not mentally competent. You tell me. They're trying to call him the Mad King. Does this sound like somebody who's not mentally fit to run? And he talks to the press all the time. If he was not mentally fit, wouldn't we hear some of that? Now, certainly there's trolling, there's rambling, there's those things that happen, but he's always done that.
You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this war?
I do, because
And
God
have you
is
sought his direction?
good. Because God is good, and God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening. Everyone says I enjoy it. I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it. These two guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, "Oh boy, they're so tough." I don't like seeing people killed.
You said
they completely miss this. And they completely, they won't tell you any of this. They won't show it. They won't show the president saying, "Look, I don't want these things to happen, but I'm going to do the tough things," like no other leader has done before. Like no other, talking head podcasters had to ever make any decisions like this before. Tucker with the goat. They've got the goat in the background. Oh, I missed it. I missed the goat last time. He's in the background next to the picture of the Ayatollah. Hey, speaking of which, I think I just saw the breaking news, and I think it was the New York Post who said
This sounds about right. Remember we told you the guy, well, they say, oh, this is our new Ayatollah. And I go, I think that guy's dead. I don't think he's really alive. I think it was the New York Post that had a story about him, and essentially it said they don't know. He's not conscious. He's not capable of making any decisions right now. Oh yeah, here it is. Iran's supreme leader unconscious and unable to be involved in any decision making. So who is making the decision? Hopefully somebody that's got a good head on their shoulders. That's from the New York Post. Again, take it or leave it, believe it or not. As to what happened to Tucker, here's something somebody just shared from his latest guest. Tucker with a guest that says capitalism shouldn't be anywhere near Christianity. Christianity is socialism at its core. It seems to me, anyway, that these people have all had some sort of indoctrination, like religious indoctrination. Candace and Tucker, and it seems to me anyway, because they're hearing things that couldn't be further from the truth. And I don't know. I just think if you crack a Bible, this stuff is obvious. But when people say this, it's insanity. And I don't know who this guy is, but if you look at him, you're probably going to say the guy is probably not in touch with reality.
I would actually argue, and this is a bold statement, the Democratic Republic is the greatest government experiment in the history of humanity. I would say
I've enjoyed it.
You've enjoyed it. Yeah. So we enjoy it. I love America.
We enjoy it.
You love America.
I do.
Capitalism should not be anywhere near Christianity.
You think?
Christianity is more, and I don't like the word.
Look at just the way they like. And then he reacts to it like, of course you're right. Well, of course you're right. Doesn't even challenge this. What do you mean? The only reason capitalism works is with Christianity. It's the only way it works. Socialism will never work. It doesn't matter how Christian you are. By the way, do you see at the top of this? Do you see what's up the top here? RT. Well, no wonder this is an RT clip. Why is Russia Today pushing this out? Just think about that. Socialism is completely anti-Christian. You do not steal from one side. You can't, by the way, it completely violates one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not steal. You steal for the greater good in socialism. You take from the haves to give to the have-nots in order to make socialism work. Christianity does this by itself. You are giving in the purest form. You are giving to others. That's what Christianity does. And by the way, capitalism makes that happen. We're feeding the world through USAID. Supposedly, they're really feeding the pockets of some of these Democrats. Now, these are people who are socialists. These are people who just are the worst of the worst, the most corrupt. But capitalism was attempting to do that. Christians were attempting to help other people. And it is corrupted by those folks who are socialist and who do have those ideas. So to say that Christianity and capitalism don't line up is just absurd.
I think
Christianity is more, and I don't like the word socialist with the weight it carries.
Oh, you
but
don't,
Christianity.
You don't like the word, or you don't like that it's killed millions of people along with communism? Which one is it? I mean, it seems a little less Christian than capitalism.
And it is socialism at its core.
Non-authoritarian.
It
is authoritarian. You submit to the authority of Christ. These folks have gotten so pulled off of the rails. I think they've been radicalized. I don't know how it happened, but I think they've been radicalized by some sort of religious, I don't know, spirit maybe. Certainly some sort of religious input that's pulled them off the rails.
It's the marker to build social capital. You look at that early Church of Acts and it transformed Rome within a couple hundred years, the greatest superpower of its time, to where Constantine was like, I'm a Christian hanging out with these dudes. They had no money. They had no buildings.
Rome was around before Christianity. Who is this guy?
But somehow the love of their neighbor transformed the greatest superpower of its time. That's dangerous. I
don't understand what he's trying to say. And again, I this is the issue with podcast bro stuff. Is you are, look, you can have conversations, and I think conversations are great. But when you put people on and you give them a platform, you don't challenge anything that they say about socialism and capitalism. Who is that Tucker Carlson? I don't recognize that guy. I don't know. I mean, maybe we've just always been wrong about who he is, but I don't recognize that dude. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene asking for the 25th Amendment, and you've got Tucker Carlson out there telling people that Christianity is about socialism, or just agreeing with the guest who said that Christianity is about socialism. You've lost me. You've completely lost me. And I don't know what happened to you, because we weren't following the same echo chamber. We were somewhere lost in translation. Somewhere something went haywire, and I don't know exactly what it was. Just no clue. The only thing I can do is pray for these people. That's the only thing I can think of to do. In fact, Candace Owens posted something this weekend. Yeah. And this is all I could say. Pray for Candace, because this was unhinged. I mean, we've seen some of the things that she said before, but when you go this far, I don't know. It's kind of nutty. This is a satanic administration. So the Trump administration is satanic. Trump is satanic. Trump is worshiping Satan. Is that what Candace Owens? Well, apparently she knows everything. We're supposed to listen to all these experts. This is the whole weird thing of follow the experts again, but it's in this reverse sort of inverted podcast bro world. We all realize that satanic Zionists occupy the White House, and Congress needs to move to have the Mad King Trump removed. Listen to that language. What? It's just nutty. All of our lives may depend upon other countries realizing that Trump is deeply unwell and surrounded by religious, hang on, what'd she say? Fanatics who have convinced him he is a Messiah. What? We are in uncharted territory. Leaders worldwide need to act accordingly. So that has been the response from some of this over the weekend. And again, I don't know how these people are still operating. Who is still listening to them? Other than to say, maybe they're also not only at the same time simultaneously being radicalized by this whole thing, but they're radicalizing others too. And that's why this is working for them. I don't know. It's really, to me, very sad. And again, I'll pray for them. Candace, just 12 minutes ago, after seeing Trump's post and then retweeting Piers Morgan, calling it genocide. Piers Morgan calling Trump's threat so that Iran will get in line to Iran a pre-admission of genocide, he says, which would obviously be a war crime, he says. Madness. And then she says the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked. He is a genocidal lunatic. Our Congress and military need to intervene. We are beyond madness. Look, Trump doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't want the Iranian people to die. In fact, he wants the exact opposite. But he has to talk strong. I don't know what's going to happen. And then Candace retweets and reposts Tucker's show. Of course. It's like they're in a network. It's just very strange. But also it seems to be kind of obvious now what's going on. And I really don't know how people defend this. And I haven't seen much of this lately today, but we got an earful of it on Friday, at least I think. Anyway, I think, and this is the big thing. Let's break it down. Capitalism is only made possible by Christianity. In fact, our government itself, which is the representative, the republic, is made possible only by Christianity. We have a covenant, the United States does, with God. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what you say. This is just a fact that people came here looking for religious freedom, and they got it. That means freedom from religion. It's freedom of religion. You can practice whatever religion you want to, and that's what they came here for. The Danbury Baptists go back to separation of church and state, which isn't even real. Did you know that the Danbury Baptists, they really write a letter to the president at the time, Thomas Jefferson, I believe, was if I'm not getting this all mixed up, but they write a letter and they say, hey, we're just concerned that you're going to make, like where we came from, you're going to make us have a certain system of government that'll be a state or religion, that'll be a state religion, and that we all have to fall in line. Think about it this way. Christians, and we have so many different denominations, etc. Well, what if they said that America's only going to be Baptist, and that's our state religion? And if you don't believe or you fall in line, then you're a heretic. We can burn you at stake and all those other things that you could be persecuted for. They wanted to make sure that that was not going to be the case, and that wasn't going to be what happened. They wrote that letter. Thomas Jefferson talks about how there will be a separation of church and state. And then Democrats, people on the left, for years have waved this around. By the way, this is not in the Constitution at all. There's nothing about separation of church and state in the Constitution at all. But then they wave this letter around like it's the gospel, and it's not. And I'll tell you why it's not. Because just like in the Bible, you have to look at the context. Jefferson writes that letter, and I believe the very next day he goes to church. Do you know where Jefferson went to church that day? At the Capitol building, because they were holding church services at the Capitol building. They used to pray every morning. They had hours of prayer that would happen at the nation's Capitol building before anything else happened. Is it before they got into the business of the day? Did you know that they would hold hours of prayer before they got down to business? It's incredible. And we've gotten so far off. We've gotten so far sort of off the reservation, off the trail, that we missed it. We missed it. I just I don't know what to tell you other than I'm going to tell you what I know to be real. I'm going to tell you what I know to be the facts. I'm going to ask you to check that every single day. Don't always believe everything I say or anyone else for that matter. But look into these things. Look into the stories we tell you. Dig deeper. Never take one person's word for it above anyone else of the gospel of anything. I understand that can be dangerous. America is a Christian nation, regardless of what people, because it was founded with Christian values. It was founded with a covenant. That's just the way it is. I believe we were given an opportunity back in 2024 to turn back to the Lord. I believe we're given that opportunity today. We're going to have to continue to make those decisions on a daily basis. How that works is I don't know. I don't have
I don't have all of the answers. Now, here's what I will further go on to say. There's a whole nother part of this. There's a whole nother part of all of this that we're watching. It could be all orchestrated. Gritter's got his tinfoil hat on. It could be all orchestrated on purpose and with a reason to wake us all up and to make us realize something else is happening. By the way, you know what Iran is doing right now? They're telling their citizens, children, to go line bridges and go to power plants. This is just wild. This is just telling children, and I think it was artists and professors and all of this other stuff. They're going to get these people killed. But they're doing that on purpose. Human shields. This is a great explanation, by the way. This guy writes about Trump's tweet this morning. Okay, this is legitimately a threat to annihilate an entire people, an obvious and grotesque war crime. There is absolutely no defense to this, and it should lead to immediate impeachment and removal. And the answer from Jeremy Boring, who used to work for the Daily Wire, is like spot on. Donald Trump has been a national politician for a decade. Anyone still reacting to the guy's negotiating tactics and hyperbole with this sort of hysteria 10 years in should be disqualified from political commentary. If he nukes Tehran at 8 p.m., I'll admit I'm the crazy one. When he doesn't, this crew will admit nothing and find some other comment to be scandalized by. Man, that is exactly how this works. And every time they'll bring up the effort, and Candace does the same thing. 25th Amendment, 25th Amendment, 25th Amendment. Anyway. Just part of what we're watching, and to me, it seems so obvious. I don't know how other people don't see it, so I have a hard time. I have a hard time with some of this, watching it go down, seeing how some people are just floored by some of this. It just makes no sense. But there you have it. I've got some other videos from the weekend. I could play a few of these, and that's probably all I'll be able to have time to play today. But I'll give you a few. Trump speaking this weekend, maybe how the CIA helped trick the enemy into getting our hero back. That's a good story. Want to hear some of that?
Later hid, the CIA was spreading fake news inside of the country that he was found, and we were moving him out by land. So confused, the regime shifted their focus to the roads, as we sent in a massive air armada of over 150 aircraft over their heads. 4 B-1 Bone bombers, 64 fighters, and special forces penetrated deep inside of Iranian airspace.
How many men did you send altogether, approximately, for the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, but I will tell you, the number, I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds and hundreds of these people.
Teams of American commandos scattered into 7 different locations, 6 of them as decoys, confusing the enemy about the true site of the pickup point. Meanwhile, the Air Force was dropping about 100 2,000-pound bombs around the perimeter of the mountain to keep the Iranian trackers at bay. During the op, one of our B-2s hit the Guard's underground headquarters with a bunker buster. It's the same bunker buster we used in Midnight Hammer. A source told Fox we delivered the heat. Meanwhile, scores of Iranian bounty hunters heading towards the hideout were getting wiped out by our Reaper drones. Central Command had set up a forward operating base deep inside of Iran for missions just like this. And American MC-130s were landing on makeshift airstrips, unloading SEALs. The problem is the terrain was awful, but we had a backup plan.
It was sandy, wet sand, so we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane, and then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes, and they got pretty well bogged down, and we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in, and they took them out. We blew up the old planes, and we blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there taking it off.
The whole thing is incredible, by the way. Just an Easter miracle. Another amazing moment. There's just so much. I'm going to put it all in the stack today, and if you can go through it at your leisure, maybe we'll get through some of it tomorrow as well. But man, oh man, what a crazy weekend it's been. Tonight at 8, we have the deadline. I don't know what happens. Only God knows what happens moving forward. At the end of it, I pray that he prevails. I pray that we do. But like I said, we're definitely in some tense times. We're in some tough times. But I think, and I heard Glenn say this yesterday, but I believe this is true. I think the president has earned our trust, at least mine. I think he's earned the right to be able to do what he's doing. And that, to me, is above anything else. If you haven't already done it yet, make sure you click share today. Folks watching over on Facebook, Twitter X, Rumble, Getter, Locals, YouTube, we appreciate you helping us get the word out today. Our big winner over on Rumble is Mando Mark. Thank you, Mando Mark, for sharing the show today. We appreciate you helping us share, because sharing is caring, obviously. I tell my 3 and my 5-year-old that all the time. Sharing is caring. So thank you for helping us share, get the word out, and make sure that folks hear what's happening. Now more than ever, these stories, they matter. All right. Thank you, folks. We appreciate you. Make it a great day. We've got all kinds of good stuff coming at you this week, and I can't wait to share that with you. In the meantime, healthwithjustin.com. You want to get healthy, maybe drop a few pounds in time for the summer? You may be able to drop 2-3 pant sizes, do even better than that in just 30, 40 days with the folks at healthwithjustin.com, My Pure Health Solutions. Maybe you need to get healthy from the inside out for other reasons. We've seen people get off medications, see the inflammation reverse, and just incredible stories, story after story. All the before and after photos online of all the pounds you'll drop, 30 for me and my wife so far this time around. Look at this. Incredible before and after pictures. Healthwithjustin.com. Reach out to Maha, Missy, and the team and find out how you can get on board today with a Maha mission. 269-964-4044. Do it today. God bless.
I'm Dr. Kirk Elliott, founder of Kirk Elliott Precious Metals. After being in the industry for more than a decade, I knew there was a better way. It's an exciting time to invest in gold and silver with the most significant bull market I've ever seen. But please don't overpay for your stuff. At KEPM, we focus on low-cost bullion only, and we don't charge a commission when you sell. We would love to connect with you, so call our office at 720-605-3900
or go to goldwithjustin.com today. Go to mypillow.com/Justin. The Easter sale is still underway. You've got a little bit of time. Clock ticks down to the deadline, and they'll roll those sale prices back, but all kinds of great deals on the mattresses, the pillows, the sheets, and more at mypillow.com/Justin. mypillow.com/Justin. Check it out today and save big. And anything you buy helps support Mike. It helps support this show. It's a win-win at mypillow.com/Justin.